Hey guys, don't forget to check out the link in the video description for USTE. It's coming up in February of 2020. I'll be teaching a class there on basic patina. I've got some of the details worked out, and yeah, just check the schedule and hope y'all can make it. What's going on there, YouTube? Alright, today's the day we're going to fix the 4Runner. The tent is coming off, and we'll readjust the rear shocks, and we're going to go drive it. This chassis has always been fantastic on trails. It's 3-link front, 4-link rear. The tent thing is awesome, but it's just not the right rig for it. The tent would be better on something with leaf springs, and it's not as serious crawler. Under full throttle, this thing just flops over to one side, even with those shocks cranked down as much as we did. You know, you get up on the, get it fully flexed, and it's just whichever way that it's leaning, that tent's going to go. So, tent's going to come off. We're going to fill the holes and primer them because this is just a trail truck. I'm not worried about pristine paint. We've got the doors and stuff all scratched up from the rocks, so not worried about the looks of it. I'm going to try to make it look as real of a repair as possible, like you would do in your garage with some Bondo and some primer and some filler and just a little bit of sanding. I did want to show you one thing. I've got the Amazon influencer store thing, and I'm sure it helps put some money back into the channel when you buy things that I have listed on my store. But I promised I'd never show anything on there that's stupid. I'm not selling stuff for people. It's just stuff that I use. And I get these. This is only the second time I've bought these. These are M3 nuts, nylon lock nuts that we use on all of our RC stuff. And these come out of China. They sell them for 100 at a time. I buy 300 at a time. And I just got another shipment. It did take about a month to get here, but that is a heck of a deal. I don't know if I'll even make anything off of it because they're so cheap. I can't remember exactly how much it was, but check out my link in the video description to check out a lot of the scale stuff you see here, a lot of the accessories. I even have the 3-link front, 4-link rear in my store for the Trailfinder 2. Tons of RC4wd drive stuff. Just a place where you can go see it and price it, and yeah, just stuff that you've seen around the channel. But yeah, about 300 M3 nuts at a time. I noticed after the ramp truck I was running out, so I was like, well, had to go back and look where I got them to find it. But anyway, yeah, let's start tearing this thing apart. Alright guys, so I did this a certain way. I know some people won't like it, but I like it. This rig is kind of a weekend crawler kind of deal. Like, you know, this guy put a roof rack or something on his 4Runner and broke it on the trail, or didn't like it, like the case here with the tent. And he just filled the holes good enough not to leak, primered it, and went about his day. Looks pretty ghetto. The Tamiya putty really contracts as it dries. And as I peeled off the tape on the inside, I realized most of it wasn't dry, just the outer surface. Really, I should have let that set for a day or so and then sanded it, but oh well. This top's got scratches and stuff on it, so it really doesn't matter. I like it. Just looks like something was filled in it. I would like to get a low-profile roof rack eventually, but I think these shocks are still feeling finicky. They're not feeling any better than the SCX-10 shocks that I took off of it. I did lift the truck a little bit. I stiffened the front up, and I ended up putting the rears almost back to where they were when we had the tent on. They were cranked down pretty far, probably half an inch. Fronts are cranked down about a 1/4 inch. And it still gives me a little flop side to side as we're accelerating hard. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works. The main issue with the rear and why it flops so hard side to side under acceleration is the angle of the shocks. The Trailfinder 2s have that rear cross member, and your shocks are basically angled like this. And further in, you have them almost next to each other, and you have like 3 or 4 different settings. And due to the diameter of these shocks, they have to be in a setting closer than I would like, or the spring will hit the frame rail. So that contributes to a lot of the flip-flop it does on the rear. So I'm hoping stiffening them up will prevent that. If not, there's really not a whole lot of other ways to go about it. We could try to put a Jalon 2 or some kind of outboard upper shock mount, but then we're going to get in the way of these massive tires, and I don't know what's going to happen. You can probably hear the servo there. Likes to sing a little bit. It's ready to go, so I'm going to take it out here on my little backyard course, and we'll see how improved it really is. Alright guys, so much improved. Still not completely satisfied with the weight transfer in the rear. I really don't think there's going to be a way to mount the top of the shock outboard of the frame rail without limiting travel significantly. So I don't know what we're going to do. I may look at some different rear shocks, may look at a different rear axle. The Yoda 1 rear is very limited on its shock mounting locations. If I could move them inboard a 1/4 inch, and that would allow me to move the upper ones just a hair, or I wouldn't even really have to at that point, it might work out better. Need to see, I don't know if I have any Yoda 2 rears in anything. See, it's got, maybe has a different mounting point. So I don't know, it's something to look at, but I like the way the front works. It's stiff, but it still works great. It has enough weight up top to transfer from side to side without the loose floppiness that we're getting out of the rear. And I put a spare tire in the inside. Just wanted something scale in there. It really doesn't weigh much. It's just a little bead lock. I don't even think it has the hub in it. And yeah, so I don't know. I don't think taking that out would really make a difference. But yeah, we're just going to have to keep tinkering with it. But I think we made some good progress, and I think I'm happy with taking the tint off. Like I said, we'll find a use for that later. Still a really awesome accessory. I really like the overlanding thing, but it just didn't fit on this rig. If this was leaf sprung all the way around, it might have worked better. But being more geared more towards serious crawling, the scale serious crawling, but whatever. Just didn't jive right. But I'll wrap this one up. I appreciate you guys watching. And again, be sure to check out the link in the video description to my Amazon influencer page. Anything you buy off of there, make a small percentage off of it for you clicking the link that I have. And all that goes back into the channel. Helps buy these expensive shocks that I put on this thing. They don't really work any better than what I had, but we'll get it all sorted out. But appreciate you watching, and keep it scale. I'll see y'all in the next video.